Hi, I'm Nate with Average Egg Archery and AverageEggArchery.com, where orders $100 and up ship free. So if you like any of the products I'm talking about today, or you want to check out the entire store's lineup, everything from crossbows to broadheads to arrows to releases to quivers, you name it, we have everything you need for bow hunting and target archery. Go ahead to AverageEggArchery.com and check it out for yourself. But today, we're talking about Elite Archery and their lineup of bows from top to bottom. So I do have a good portion of Elite's lineup on the wall behind me right now, but there are 4 bows I do want to talk about as well, which are the Ember, the Basin, the Terrain, and the Hunter 33. I just don't have physical representation of them here. But just like I've done with other companies, I want to explain why the lineup for Elite exists and where that fits in a different price point, who those bows are made for, and which ones should specifically be met for your needs. So we're going to cover the 4 that I don't have with me, starting with the Ember. So the Ember is a grow as you go style bow. Now I would argue that it is the highest quality grow as you go style of bow that's on the market. It competes with a lot of other companies. Bear is its major competitor here in our store. You would also see something like the Diamond Infinite Edge, and there's a couple other options as well, like the Matthews Mission lineup. The Ember is the highest quality, and the reason why I say that is because it's using the same riser, the same limbs, limb pocket, and Winner's Choice custom strings to make that bow. So it's using a machine riser, which is the highest level of riser that you can get compared to, say, like the Diamond uses a cast riser, Bear uses a cast riser, and so it makes it a much higher quality product. Also, the finishes that you can get on the Ember, they offer target colors like Laguna Teal and Cobalt Blue, along with Camo and Black. So a lot of your other more budget-friendly bows that are lesser quality, if you will, but still good quality, but lesser quality, they're not going to offer that level of anodizing and that level of color options. Then the string quality with the Winner's Choice is just fantastic. On my own personal ethos that I hunt with, which was a 2024 Flagship, the Winner's Choice strings that I've had on that have been absolutely put through the ringer, and they're still going strong. So that's a big upgrade, having that quality of string. And so that bow, that Ember, even though it is definitely geared towards women and youth and the teenage archer, kind of that grow as you go or the short draw and light pounded shooters, it has all the bells and whistles and options there of quality that you don't get out of some of the more cheaper priced entry-level bows. The Ember also has something that's unique to the Ember that you don't get a lot out of the budget-friendly bows, and that it has a limb stop. So what that limb stop allows you to do, even on a super short, super low poundage draw length option, you get a very firm back wall. And if you've never shot a spongy kid's bow before, and you've never shot something like the Ember that has a limb stop, you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you do, or you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it totally changes how that bow performs for that kid or that lady in particular. Coming up from the Ember, you get to the Basin, which I'm not going to spend much time on because it's almost identical to the Ember. The Ember is a little bit shorter axle to axle, but the Basin goes out to 30 inches of draw length. So it's still kind of a grow as you go kind of bow, but the Ember and the Basin kind of compete with each other. I actually am kind of expecting one day they'll phase out one or the other, but for now the Basin still exists. It's still a good axle to axle length. It's a great hunting bow, good brace height, but it has that same limb stop capability. So just like the Ember, in that same rough price point, you get that really awesome back wall that you get with a light poundage and short draw archer, which I think for women and kids is super important. The next, getting into like that $700 price range, is the Terrain. Now the Terrain is a hybrid cam system. The Ember and the Basin use a dual cam system, so it's 2 yokes, top and bottom. It allows for a wide range of adjustment within the cam. The Terrain still also has a wide range of adjustment in the cam, but that hybrid cam system, it's a little bit faster than those grow as you go kind of bows. So the Terrain is really meant to target that I want a Flagship, but I can't afford a Flagship crowd. And having shot the Terrain and sold a pile of them in my store, I can attest it is a very high performing bow. Now the Terrain is only cable stop only, which is fine, that's not abnormal. And it's 32 inches axle to axle. So it's right in that meat and potatoes of what we know Flagship bows were, 10, 15 years ago, and even really up to about 5 years ago for some companies. That's what a Flagship bow was. And so you have a Flagship level base platform at around a $700 price point. You have a couple nice color options, still get that same cam, limb, riser, Winner's Choice custom strings. So I would again argue, just like the Ember and the Basin, it's on the high end of that mid-price bow. It probably is the highest end of that mid-price bow offering. Now, new for Elite this year, and I wish I had them, but I've sold them all so far, is the Hunter 33. So a 33-inch axle-to-axle platform, a normal hunting brace height, but it is basically the flagship bows of Elite's past. And when I say past, like the Cure in 2020, the Envision, the Remedy in that 2021-2022 timeframe, it uses the exact same cam system. So it's a 3-track binary ASIM cam system that is well loved by Elite shooters. So if you've never shot an Elite before and you want to get into your toes, dip them into the water, that is by far an excellent cam system to get involved in. 33 inches axle to axle is allowing that to cover a wide range of draw lengths. Also makes it a very stable platform. A lot of companies now are starting to offer a 33-inch hunting bow and like a 29, 30-inch hunting bow. So the Hunter 33 has every bell and whistle on the module and everything that you would ever want out of an Elite. Again, at a $1,000 price point, not a flagship $1,400, $1,500, $1,600, $2,000 price point. It sits around that $999 mark. So that bow, if you are looking to get into that really high-end flagship feel without paying a flagship price for an Elite, check out the Hunter 33. Now, getting into Elite's flagship lineup for 2025, we start with the Artist. Now, Elite hasn't made a short axle-to-axle bow in a minute. When I say short, I'm talking around this 30 inches axle-to-axle short that the Artist lives around. It has their updated new SPX2 cam, so it has an interior yoke, which helps eliminate cam lean, which can be a bugger for tuning on occasion. It also has their set technology, has things like their machine Picatinny thing, has their Picatinny mount that's machined right into the limb pocket to allow you to accept all of their accessories. So when you get into that flagship market, and you get into that flagship price point, you're going to start getting into every bell and whistle that a company has to offer, regardless of what brand it is. For Elite, it's their set technology, which is a pressless tuning technology. It's similar to like the Bowtech Deadlock, or to what Truth Archery is doing now, where they can move the cam. Elite does it with the limb pocket, and it pivots the limb pocket ever so slightly to make one limb stronger than the other. All you need is one Allen key, you loosen a bolt, you screw the other, and it even has a sticker right on here. You shoot through paper, you get a left tear, a right tear, you move in quarter turns, and you can work out a paper tear, bare shaft tuning, broadhead flight, whatever, right on the bow with the set technology. All of Elite's flagship bows are going to have this technology from the Artist and up, and that's what you get when you get into that price point. Same thing here, like we have at the Hunter 33, we had a lot of adjustment within the cam. The Artist and up take it further. 1/4 inch draw length adjustments, 70 to 90% let off, adjustable right here. You also get a performance mod, comes stock on the Artist, but then they also can sell a smooth mod. So if you don't like the draw cycle, you're not worried about speed, but you want a super smooth draw length, you can get that with the Artist. It's about a $90 upgrade. And if you're interested in that, it's well worth the price. You also get things like a tunable roller guard, and you get everything in a really nice, compact hunting bow platform. So that's why the Artist is created. It's meant to be a short axle-to-axle, relatively quick. It's got those big cams on it and a relatively not aggressive but not super long brace height either. It gives you every option you would want in a nice little quick package for that hunting in the tree stand or the ground blind. Every bow company has been known for doing some particular thing very, very well. And for me and Elite, it is their longer axle-to-axle platforms. This is the Exalt 35, which has been a tremendous seller for me here in my store. If you want to come check one out, 21 North Front Street here in Phillipsburg, PA. You can't miss us. We're between the Roland Theater and the library. You can come demo one of the Exalt 35s we have on our wall. A 34 to 35 inch axle-to-axle platform is actually becoming very, very common in the hunting space as a hybrid bow. So it works really well for long distance shooting. So think Mountain West, antelope on the plains, mule deer, stuff like that. But it's not so egregiously long that you can't use it in a ground blind or in a tree stand. But the nice thing too is for anybody who shoots in competition, whether it's just local 3D, you shoot it for the ASA, IBO events, this is a great hybrid bow style platform. So being a hybrid bow, you can take it out on the tournament trail, you can take it in the woods, you can get it in a camo color, still has all the bells and whistles you get on the Artist, but it has everything in a little bit more of a hybrid target style platform. Now, sometimes when a company builds a bow that's the exact same everything as another bow, you're like, why does that bow exist? Going back to the Ember and Basin. But this is the Exalt LD, very similar to its little brother, the Exalt 35. Still that 35-inch style axle-to-axle platform, around that 6 3/4, 7-inch brace height, which is very common in a hybrid style bow. But being the LD, it gets out to the long draw length, so over 30 inches. The 35 only goes to 30 inches. The LD gets out to 32. So a 35-inch hybrid bow platform comes with the performance mods. The Exalt comes with the smooth mods. So you really get to kind of fine tune and pick the bow that you want to shoot for either indoor, outdoor, or hunting, or all of them being in that hybrid style platform. Again, has all the adjustments and modularity we saw with the Artist, but this comes in again, that longer, quicker platform of the 35 compared to the regular Exalt 35. Last year, Elite joined the party by making a carbon riser bow in the Era, and here they have the Eon for 2025. So this is going to be in a higher price point, being a carbon bow, but it's significantly lighter than a standard aluminum hunting bow. So it's going to have the same cam as the Artist, so this is really designed for hunting. It's speed, it's quick, big cams, good draw cycle, generous brace height. It's going to feel really good to aim, really good to shoot, but you're going to get great speed out of it for hunting, particularly if you're going to go out Midwest into the Western states, and you might need to shoot a little bit longer distance, 50, 60, or more yards if you feel comfortable with it. Still has all the, the limb pocket system, the set technology, the 70-90% right on the cam. You could do the smooth mods or the speed mods, does not matter. This is the Eon, and you're thinking, why does this fit into the marketplace when I really can do, for less, I can do the Artist, considering the axle-to-axle and a lot of the other specs are the same? Well, you'd be surprised how light a carbon bow can be when you put it up against an aluminum riser bow. I'm not a big carbon guy myself because most carbon bows are not longer. I have a long draw length. I usually like a longer axle-to-axle platform, so I personally shoot the LD. But if you're looking for a lighter but still a good 31 and change, almost 32-inch axle-to-axle platform, with a good brace height and good speed, you want to check out the Eon. I can barely fit this one on camera at this distance. That's how long this one is. This is the Verdict. Now, not every bow company makes a target bow. When I say a target bow, I'm talking 36 inches and up. That's kind of my true, it's no longer a hybrid bow. So 33 to 35, I would consider a hybrid style length. You could shoot that in the woods, you could shoot it for spots indoors, and you can definitely shoot it for 3D. But the Verdict is really a target bow. So almost 38 inches axle to axle. Now, I'm not saying you can't hunt with a 38-inch axle to axle bow. You ask anybody that's been hunting with a compound for more than 30 years, and they'll tell you that all compounds were like 36 to 40 inches or more many moons ago. So shooting a 38-inch platform or thereabouts is not uncommon. But the Verdict is going to follow a lot of the same similarities as the Exalt 35. It's going to have that same cam, same size cam, and it's going to have roughly the same draw length capabilities. This one does get out to 31 though, because it is so long axle to axle. Comes with the smooth mods, has the set technology and all the bells and whistles. It has a very long riser to axle length, which is very, very common nowadays in not only hunting bows, but in the target bow. We've discovered by doing that in hunting bows, that if you put in a target bow, it makes it even more stable. Now, it's a lot of bow. Let's not kid ourselves here. You're talking around 5 pounds total weight, and you're talking all the bells and whistles that you put onto it. It's going to be it's going to be a beefy bow. But since it's specifically designed for target, and you're not going to be carrying this around and putting it up in a tree stand or in a ground blind, it's specifically designed for the ASA IBO range, shooting 3D with your buddies, and indoor spots in the wintertime. So that's a look at the entire Elite lineup from the Ember all the way up to the Verdict. If you have any questions about any part of the Elite lineup from this year or years in the past, feel free to drop a comment down in the comment section below. You can hit us up on Facebook and Instagram at Average Egg Archery. And of course, you can go shop around and contact us at averageeggarchery.com. Again, you like any of the products you see here today, you want any other accessory that to go with your Elite bow that we can ship across the country for you, orders $100 and up, ship free, you're welcome to shop there at averageeggarchery.com. Happy to supply all of your archery, bow hunting, and target needs. Hope you're able to get outside, enjoy the sport of archery and archery hunting if you so choose. Definitely enjoy God's beautiful creation, and we'll get to see you next time.